Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to handle files in Go. So basically, I will walk you through on how to create files, how to open files, how to close files, and how to write into that files. And yeah, with all that being said, let's dive right into it. All right, here you can see my basic Django code here, which actually prints let's work on file. So now once I run the code, let's see if it works. So go run main.go to actually run it. So I'm actually doing this just for the beginners that will actually be watching the video, and you can see the output here which says let's work on Go. So yeah, so the first thing we need to do is to know how to create files in Go. So that's basically the main reason I'm actually making this video, is just to know how to like create files and how to do other things. Go. So yeah, the first thing you can actually do is to actually give like a variable name for this. So I want to call the name of the variable as file, and also I want to check for errors. So error. So and we are also going to be using the OS package to actually create the file. So os dot create. So os dot create method to actually create files, and also you can specify the path you want to create it at, and also you can actually also create it in your project folder. So I want to create it in my project folder to make things easier and faster. So yeah, test can be test dot tst. I want to create like a test.txt file. So now you can see once you save, it's already going to raise error that you need to use the variable, and also you need to use error. So yeah, so I want to use the error. So if error not null, it should return the error that occurred. So return, just want to use the return error. You can say return error and maybe any other thing, but I just want to use the return there. So yeah, once I save, you can see it actually requires me to like use this file. So this is basically how you can actually create files. So let me just add the comment create, and yeah, to use this file I just want to also add how to close a file that you create. So close, and I want the file to actually close after I create the file. So to do this, you need to use the dfile and use that file dot close. So let me explain what is going on here. So after creating the file, you need to close it, right? So this d file will not run unless this file variable actually runs successfully. So it will not work if this one does not work. So once I save my work and actually run it again, once I run cls, let me expand my terminal so you can see what's going on, and go run main.go. And now you can see let's work on files, and you can see it actually created the test.txt for me. And once I open my test.txt, you can see that test.txt is actually empty. So now let's work on how we can write into test.txt. So to write in test.txt is actually very easy. So you can just say write in file. Now, so what we just need to do is to actually get this file variable name. So now get the file variable name and say dot write. So you can see it actually gives me option write at. So I just want to use the write string method. So and I just want to add my string. So testing if it works, right? Testing if it works. So now you can see this file dot write string actually writes into the file we actually created. So once I save my work and we run the code, so go run main.go to actually run the code. So and now once I open test.txt, you can see testing if it works. So you can see that is basically how to write into your files. So now we have been able to create file. We have also been able to close that file, and also we have been able to write into a specific file. So now we can now move on how we can now move on to how you can actually create file. So it's basically the same method with this create how to open files. Basically the same method with how to create files. So now let me copy this and add my comment and say open file. Let me paste that here. So I just want to give like file name, right? Okay. So now it requires me to actually use that file name. So let me close it. Like I said, you actually need to close any file you actually create. So I can now say d file. I will explain better. File name dot close. Yeah. So you can see we are also using the create method here, which is not supposed to be. So you can now remove that create method and use the open method. So let me explain my code. Open file. So we're actually using a variable name of file name. We are checking for error. So we are going to check for error. And also we are using the os.open. So we are going to be opening test.txt. So after opening test.txt, we can also close it back. So we are checking for errors before we close it, right? So once I save my work now and run, go run main.go. Let me expand this. You can see it actually worked. So yeah, we have been able to create files. We have also been able to close the file. We have also been able to write into that file. And lastly, we have been able to open that specific file. So I really want to add how to get like a file size. So you can also check for the file size. So let me quickly add that below before we end the video. Get file size, right? So to get file size is like really easy and fast. So what you need to do is to actually do the same thing we actually do. So but file size, we can actually call this file size, right? So any name you want to give, I just want to give it file size, but we are not going to be using the os.create method anymore. So let me clear this out. And now I can now use this file name that I opened here. See, I can get that file name dot start, right? So once I use the dot start, it actually help me to get the file size, and we're actually going to work on it. So save. Once I save, I can now use the print line, right? Maybe file size. Let's see if it's going to give like any output. Yeah, save. Okay. So once I save my work, okay, it's not supposed to be start. Yeah, so it's supposed to be capital S there. So once I save my work and try to go run. Okay, let me do CLS to clear this so you can see. Yeah. So go run main.go. We're actually going to get that file size. So you can see it gave me like a, I don't know how to call this, so it actually just give me these numbers here as like the file size. So this is basically how you can get file size in Go. And now we have been able to create file, we have been able to close the file, we have also been able to write into that file, we have been able to open file, and we have also been able to get that file. So this will be the end of the video. Thank you for watching and bye.